was highly influenced by a couple of people. One of them is about Steve Jobs, and he always talked about passion. Anything we want to do in our life is so much important that we need to be passionate about it. And then the second person I was been very influenced was about Jeff Bezos, because my time when I started my career in information technology and software engineering, these two was really on the peak of themselves that time as an entrepreneur and make this tech company a big success. And so what I was doing that time, I was thinking, all right, so I need to have few things right. So I listened to Bezos about this one. He was telling about you need to have a job, or you can turn the job to a career. And that's something, wow, it's really blown my mind. I realized this one, I need to stop thinking about the job I'm doing, but what should be my career? And I realized this one, my career should be in software engineering, and I want to be in the field, and I want to be an expert about it. And the expert role is about the chief of information system, or CIO, or director of IT role. So now I was thinking about what should be my passion then about it. And then I realized this one, when I was looking around, I need to find a passion. And this is something another word really marked my mind is about from Bezos. He said this one is about the passion is something gonna pick you up. You need to look for it. If you don't look for it, you're not gonna get that passion. Then I was looking around and see what are actually my passion. Do I have a passion? I'm looking for different hobbies. I'm looking for different activities I was doing. I was looking around from other people, different passions too. But finally I realized this one, that I actually have passion, and that's the one is about love doing research. And normally, as everybody after getting out of school never don't want to do any research or publications, but actually by the time in few years of graduation from the school, I already have several papers I published after the research. So after I graduated, I was doing different research about software engineering, how to apply software engineering better, and I was writing article about it and publishing into it. And I realized this is my passion. I want to keep doing this one too. So then one day I realized I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and I said, listen, okay, you got a passion, but what is the ultimate goal of this passion? Shouldn't you go for a PhD? And I found out, wow, that could be pretty interesting. Go and get a PhD. So I was thinking that if I want to go for a PhD, then what I should be doing. So I spent a lot of time. By the time I already have like 11 publications in software engineering, all of them. So I realized this one, I need to do a research proposal. So I was spending a lot of time how to write a research proposal. I was doing it, I was submitting into that one too. And then when I submitted different universities, I got 4 offers. And then I come to a point in 2013 that I need to take one of them, and I have to leave my job and have to go and get a PhD full-time done. And that's the point I realized this one, actually I'm doing a mistake, because I supposed to running passion and my career parallelly. Because if I get out of my job, that time I was a senior project manager already. So if I quit my job and go into my passion and go and get a PhD done, the CIO career will never happen most likely, because after getting out of the school with a PhD degree, most likely I'll be teaching in the school. And that's not something I was looking for in my career too. So that was my first realization that in my life, we often do the things without seeing the big pictures. And that was a mistake for me. And the second lesson learned is about when we find that mistake, I need to correct it immediately. And that's what I did. I completely quit that PhD study, drop out of the program, and keep focusing about my career. But now when I was focusing on my career, now I get into another problem. Now the problem is, how do I continue my passion? Because now I'm getting into a problem, like I'm just going to hit the wall that now I quit my passion, but actually I love doing research. So what should be next? And then I was talking to one of my mentors at that time, and he said this one, John, you probably hit the wall. Why don't you look outside the wall? What is opposite side of the wall? And then I realized this one, actually opposite of side the wall, because I was doing all the research. So that's the thing I was seeing, opposite of the wall, there is a tons of other topics about doing research. So why don't I start doing research on those topics? But now I get into another problem. Now I'm thinking that, wow, so now the whole world has so many problems, right? We have environment problem, we have pollution, so many things, but how does it relate to my expertise and how can I really conduct it? So self-doubt was a big part of it as well too, which I had to overcome. How do I do it? Then I was talking to one mentor at that time, and he was saying this one, it's not about you need to go and find the problem. Just see that what problem is bothering you, pick it one and keep looking for it. And then I realized this one, that my biggest power right now, that I'm going to do the research something right now, which I just want to do it. I'm curious to do it. It's not related to my jobs, because I'm curious and I want to learn more about it. And I want to keep doing the research forward. So one day I got exposed to one. I got a news that time it got published. It's saying this one, almost 75% student find it hard after graduating from the school in Vietnam. And I thought that, why? So I started doing research. I started interviewing different students, different lecturers from different universities. That time I was working for University of RMIT as a senior project manager. And then I got exposed to another situation. I got a sinusitis problem. It was a massive one. I was sick for almost 6 months. So I went to a hospital, so many hospitals and so many clinics on their own home. And then I realized this hospital are great. These doctors are quite skillful, but they don't really treating me as a customer. They don't really care about my feeling, my passion experience. But when I'm working in RMIT, one of the key areas I'm focusing about student experience, that means customer experience. Why they are not really aware about it. So I decided I want to do more research about it. So I started interviewing different people, I started interviewing different doctors about it as well too, and I found a lot of intriguing, sad, embarrassing or crazy stories which keep me curious, and I keep doing the research forward too. And then one day I got exposed to another situation. So that situation is about a group of graduates from RMIT saying this one, they don't like to work in Vietnam. They think that the manager doesn't have the right skill set, the company doesn't have the right cultures, the company doesn't have the right way of keeping the talents. They don't even value the talents as well too. So, and that's why they want to leave Vietnam and they want to go outside Vietnam and work. I say, wow, that is like the whole purpose of RMIT in Vietnam is going to be failed, because RMIT Vietnam's key mission is about creating world-class workforce in Vietnam so they can join the Vietnamese industry and lift up the economy, lift up the industry for Vietnam as well too. And now if they all go outside the country, means all those talents are going out. Why? And I started interviewing different companies, different managers around Vietnam as well too. So I was doing all this research from 2013 to 2016, almost for 5 years period of time. And there is one coffee really triggered me to go to the next level of doing that one. So that coffee, I was sitting down on a weekend, Saturday morning. I was having a conversation to one of my friends, and he was asking me, "Hey John, what are you doing? What are the other things do you do beside your work?" So I say, I love doing research. So then he said, "Well, tell me about the research." Then I told him about the different research topics I'm working on, the depth, the people I know, a different understanding I share with him. Then he told me that, wow, that's look pretty exciting. Why don't you do something about it? So I told him that what I can do. I used to publish paper, but now I'm just doing the research because I love doing it. They say, then what he said that moment that still struck my mind. He said this one, why you don't do something to solve this problem now, rather than just publishing and telling other people to do it? And I realized this one, wow, why not? Maybe this is the time for me to do something. So then I picked my research, which is about healthcare service model. That was my first research, which was most advanced at that time as well too. So what I did, I established a nonprofit. And you say, why nonprofit? Back the time I was reading a book, it said this one, somebody successful should have a nonprofit. I realized this one, all right, I want to be successful. So let's start a nonprofit. Maybe it will resonate. It will give me the energy and passion to keep moving forward and be successful as well too. So I started nonprofits. I started recruiting team members, joining the team member. We start launching different kind of initiatives about improving the different nonprofit projects to solve different health service model related issues for medical students and hospitals, and also in university students as well. And I was being so passionate. I was waking up every morning. I was going there every weekend, Saturday morning, to the nonprofit office. I was so excited to do it. But after 6 months later, I realized this one, I am hitting another big wall. This nonprofit organization is not going anywhere. My turnover rate of the members are going down so high. The organization is not going what it should go. I'm so much pushing about it. I'm like every day after coming back from work, 8 p.m. to 12 midnight, I'm doing different strategy, different kind of documents, making videos, sharing with all those people and trying to train them, coach them to go and move forward. But the organization is not meeting its potential. Human resource became the biggest problem of the organization. The workforce has the biggest issue. I felt pretty hopeless about it and pretty helpless too as well. So then I realized this one, I should go and talk to some of my friends who are HR experts. So then I go to HR experts, different friends, and I start to have coffee with them and start to share with them my pain point as a nonprofit founder. First of all, they love it that I'm doing a nonprofit, being a foreigner, established the nonprofit, and we start to make some impacts. They found it very exciting. But I wanted to make it a real success. I want to make some real impact of the nonprofits. That was my intentions about it. But after the conversation, I realized this one. Those HR experts, my friends, could not give me a real solution. All they talk about is a carrot and stick process. So here's the carrot, go and get the carrot. Otherwise, we can use the stick to push you forward. And I say, it's not going to work in a nonprofit, because in a nonprofit, like everything about spiritual, like 90% of everything in nonprofit is about spiritual reward, and 10% probably monetary reward. But in a company, it's opposite. Probably 90, even 99% is about monetary reward, and probably 1 or 5% is coming from the spiritual reward too. That model I cannot implement in VSHR, that nonprofit. It will die immediately. That was I felt like this is quite frustrating. I already lost several core team members by that time of the nonprofit, and I found my shoulder is very heavy, and I just don't know how to push this forward. I just felt like, should I stop this nonprofits? It's become so much a workload for me, and it's not going where it wants to go. My passion is I'm putting so much into it, but it's not going where it should go. I was telling this pain point to one of my friends, and that friend told me that, okay, so what else do you got? What is my idea? I told him a few of the idea, and then he asked me one more question that, like an expert coach, and I love that question and still mark my mind. He said this one, what else are you doing? Is there any other research source can help to you? Then I told him that, yeah, I'm doing one research about human resource in the companies and the workforce. And he told me that, hey, you have an expertise of the CIO, and you have done the research about human resource and workforce on the company. Why you don't just take these two, your expertise and that research, combine them and start to build different models, frameworks, tools, methods, and start applying to your nonprofit, which is your VSHR. That was like, whoa, I felt like that's something I can do right now, because until now I was just waiting to be and grinding and complaining about it. But now I realize this one, I can do something moving forward. So what I decided, okay, I'm going to do it. So I'm going to offload a lot of work of myself in the nonprofits and give it to the existing team member. And I moved to start looking and start focusing about that to building the model. So in the next few months, I built few of the prototype of this different model and start applying in VSHR nonprofit and start to test and start improve this model and reapply as well too. I start training them in the nonprofit. And in 6 months, I realized this when there was a remarkable change of the nonprofit. The nonprofit grown to 200 members in nonprofit. There's a lot of attracted talent, student, volunteer want to join the VSHR. A lot of companies know about the nonprofit impacts and what nonprofits is doing to empowering and upskilling those different doctors, students, and nurses, or even the pharmacists as well too. And they know that the people who are working in that nonprofit has a lot more empowerment and skill, so they can bring the value to their company. So they start hiring those different team members of the nonprofit as well too. And the impact of productivity was excellent. So that time we start measuring the productivity level. In 1 year, a group of volunteers of 200 volunteers completed almost 285,000 micro tasks in 1 year. And not in one city, but in 6 cities around Vietnam. So our impacts start to be more visible to that time of nonprofits. So the nonprofits went around to different national TV channels, national TV news as well too. They come in and say, hey, it was a great work, great nonprofit, we're gonna promote it as well too. So that's great. So now one day morning, that mentor who just told me that you should start doing that, the friend mentor, that you should start doing this, combining and start building the model, he just told me that, hey, I just saw you in the TV, in the VTV, in the news last night. What's going on? Let's catch up, and I want to hear about you. So then I come in, I talked to him in a coffee, and I told him what was remarkable last 6-8 months. It was a lot of hard work, but what we are right now is remarkably different and a lot more impactful, and I'm so happy about it. And then he told me that, which is another helped me to think about to the next level of myself. He just told me that, oh, you have a level 10 skill set backed by research and your test in your own nonprofits for those HR solutions for the problems. Why don't you bring to the companies and solve their problem? Because companies really need that. Because if the volunteers can work and make such kind of impact because of that kind of models and putting things together in a company, it can be a lot more impactful moving forward. All right, that's something I realized this on. Wow, probably this time is can help us to take this level 10 expertise, what he mentioned, that to help the other companies to take them forward as well too. And that was the point, the creation of VSHR Pro Academy. We're helping companies to thrive forward by solving their HR problems so that company can become more productive, effective, and more profitable on the way too. And the same way that every team member who joining VSHR Pro Academy, our key mission is about doing 3 things: helping each of the team members to find their career, build their career, and grow in their career. Number 2, help them to find their passions and helping them to make their passion a real impact. And third thing is about helping them find a calling so that every day morning they wake up in the bed, they feel like they have a mission to win and they have all the career, skill set, expertise, and the passion to drive forward, to have an exciting day forward too. And that's what we do in VSR Pro Academy. And if you're watching this video, if you think that we can help you in Pro Academy to solve your HR problem, check out the description of the video. There's a link. Our team love to work with you and help you to solve your HR problem, to help your company more productive, effective, or more profitable. At the same time, if you are looking to find your passion, career, and calling, check the link in the video as well too. There's a link, and drop your details. Our team will get in touch with you. And you should be checking out the next video right now here, which is the DNA of the VSR Pro Academy. That will help you to understand more what we have inside. I'll see you there.